Hi, Namaskar to all the viewers of this channel. My dear students of CA Foundation, we have almost completed the class 20 of the rectification of errors and almost 3 to 4 problems when the errors are disclosed in the next year. As from the earlier classes, you people know that when the errors are disclosed in the next year, in the place of income, in the place of expenses, we have to use what? We have to use P&L adjustment account. But P&L adjustment account should not be used in case of asset, liabilities and capital. Keep these things as it is. Am I right, my dear students? See what happened in this particular video. I mean class. A question is asked the CA Foundation July 2021 and one time in MTP also. It is also there in study material of CA Foundation, ICA board. See, Mr. Ratan was unable to agree the trial balance when last year, and he wrote off the difference to the profit and loss account, where he mentioned the difference P&L account. That is what we used to call it as. Instead of P&L, we are calling it as a P&L adjustment. Especially this problem. If you use P&L, if you use P&L adjustment, both are same, but preferably I use P&L adjustment only. Next year, oh, he told next year, right? He appointed a chartered accountant. Means errors are disclosed when? Errors are disclosed not in the same year, errors are disclosed in the next year. Who examined the books? Or chartered accountant examined the books and he found the following mistakes. See what mistake he found. Let me explain the first point. Purchase of scooter was debited to conveyance account. See, when you purchase a scooter, scooter is what? Asset. Asset is to be what? Debited. A correct debit hai na? But what he has done? He had debited to the conveyance account. Then what debit it is? Wrong debit. Right? Conveyance means what? Expenses. In the place of expenses, what we have to use? We have to use P&L adjustment account. Then what is the entry for this? Keep the correct in the same place. Shift the wrong in the opposite place. Sir, still depreciation hai na? I do one thing, my dear student. I take depreciation as a B point, this purchase as a A point. If I combine both, common student, normal student, feel and face difficulties in understanding. For that sake, I split into two parts. I take the depreciation in the later version, means after completion of this particular concept. Now, what is your rectified entry? A scooter account debit to P&L adjustment account. That is, first point में A transaction क्या लिखना? Scooter account debit to what? P&L adjustment account. How much amount, my dear student? It is an amount of rupees 30,000, right? Being wrong debit to conveyance account is rectified. Wrong debit to conveyance account is rectified. Now let me move on to the concept about depreciation. What happened here? Ratan charges 10% depreciation on the scooter. What's the amount of scooter, my dear student? 30,000. Depreciation is 30,000 में 10% डाले तो कितना हुआ? 3,000 हुआ है ना. So depreciation means what? Expenses. Expenses means what? Debit. It is to be taken where? Profit and loss adjustment account, because in the place of expenses we have to use P&L adjustment. Now entry क्या हुआ अब? For this entry, profit and loss adjustment account debit profit and loss adjustment account debit, then which account is to be credited? Because it reduces the value of a scooter. It reduces what? Depreciation will reduce the value of a scooter. Scooter account is to be credited. Am I right? So normally what is the entry for depreciation? Depreciation account debit to asset account. Depreciation is the expenses. It will reduce the value of asset. So asset is to be credited. So depreciation account debit to asset account. Instead of depreciation, since the errors are disclosed in the next year, we have to use the P&L adjustment. Am I right? Now the entry will be P&L adjustment account debit to what? Scooters account. Am I right? Now let me move on to the B point of the first entry, that is profit and loss adjustment account debit to scooters account. How much it is? 3000 dash dash 3000 being depreciation charged on scooter, because we have to record it, being depreciation charged on scooter. Let me move on to the next concept, my dear kids, students. Purchase account was overcost. Overcost means we have to take it in opposite side. Which account? Purchase account. Purchase means what? Expenses. Expenses means what we have to take in the next year? P&L adjustment. Expenses को क्या करना? Debit करना. Expenses को क्या करना? Debit करना. But when it is over cost, we have to take it in opposite side. Opposite side means it comes where? Credit side. For this entry will be what? P&L adjustment account debit. Why you are debit? Why you are sorry. Opposite लेना. Opposite लेना. किसको opposite लेना? P&L adjustment over cost means expenses over cost. Expenses is a debit. When it is over cost, we have to take it in opposite side. Counter side, opposite side. Opposite side means P&L adjustment is to be taken in the credit side. When you are taking P&L adjustment in the credit side, we have to take what? Suspense account on the debit side. Now your journal entry will be what? So then, now the second concept, that is suspense account debit to P&L adjustment account. How much amount is over cost, my dear student? An amount of rupees, a big amount of rupees, 1 lakh dash dash 1 lakh. Now let me move on to the third one. A credit purchase of goods from X was entered as a sales. See, book is reversed. Purchases are recorded as a sales. In case of purchases, we have to pay the money to X as a creditor. But when you recorded it as a sales, it indicates that X becomes a debtor, he has to pay money to us. So now X is to be mentioned with double amount, right? Because he didn't mention like a party's account is correctly entered. That is not mentioned. Normal answer, normal question. Credit purchase. Purchase means what? Expenses. In the place of expenses, what we have to use? We have to use P&L adjustment. It is to be debited correctly. Then who is Mr. X? Mr. X is your debtor. Debtor is to be asset. Asset is to be debtor increased. Right? Asset is to be debited. This is, oh sorry my dear student, what happened? See, sorry, I am exclusively sorry for that. When you purchased, it is an expenses. X becomes whom? X becomes a creditor. He is a supplier. Liability, he is to be credited. Correct hai na ab? Now, was entered in the sales. When it is entered in the sales, sales is a income. Income means we have to use P&L adjustment account. When it is a income, you have recorded it as a wrong credit. Hai na? I repeat my explanation. Purchase is a expenses, is to be debited. When you purchase from X, X is a creditor. As a liability, he is to be credited, but recorded in the books of sales as a income. So wrong credit. Now how to rectify? As I told you, na, keep the correct in the same place. Keep the correct in the same place. Shift the wrong in the opposite place. Then how much will be debited now? This is one debit, this is another debit. क्या लिखना अब? Purchases account debit. What we have to write? For this we have to write what? For this we have to write what? Purchases account debit, sales account debit to X account. Since both purchase and expenses are the purchases and sales are the incomes and expenses, in that place what we have to use? P&L adjustment, as I mentioned here. Now the entry will be what? Instead of telling purchase account debit, sales account debit, pronounce it as a P&L adjustment account debit to X account. How much amount we have to take? Purchase of 20, sales of 20. कुल मिला के कितना हुआ? 40,000 हुआ. Now your entry will be, that is third entry, profit and loss adjustment account debit to X account. How much? 20,000 as a purchases, 20,000 as a sales. It put together it becomes how much? 40,000 dash dash 40,000. Being wrong credit in sales account is rectified. Wrong credit in sales account is rectified. Receipt of cash from Anand was posted to the account of Mr. Bhaskar. When you received cash from Anand, my dear student, we come across the same transaction more than 10 times in out of 21, 22 problems, my dear student. When you received money from Anand, Anand is a debtor, debtor decreased, he is to be credited. But you have posted to the account of Bhaskar, means you have given wrong credit to Bhaskar. This is a correct credit to Anand, but you have not done. Correct credit to Anand is not done. Wrong credit to Bhaskar is you have recorded. Now what is your rectified entry? Keep the correct in the same place. Shift the wrong in the opposite place. When it is a wrong credit, it comes where? Debit side. Then your entry will be what? Bhaskar's account debit to Anand's account. Okay. So now the entry number what? It is entry number 4. Bhaskar's account debit to Anand's account. Being wrong credit to Bhaskar is rectified. Wrong credit to Bhaskar is rectified. An amount of rupees 10,000 dash dash 10,000. I hope you got it. Then see the next one. Receipt of cash from Mr. Chandu was posted to the debit of his account. Another important entry, see. What happened? When you received cash from Chandu, Chandu is your debitor. Always remember, whenever you received money from a person, he is nothing but a debtor, then the debtor decreases, the debtor is to be credited as a correct entry. It is to be credited with 5,000 as a correct entry. But what you have done? You have debited to his account. His account means what? Chandu. चंदूस अकाउंट में आप क्या किए? रॉन्ग डेबिट किए. कितना रॉन्ग डेबिट किए? 5,000 रॉन्ग डेबिट किए. Now what is your rectified entry? As usual, keep the correct in the same place, shift the wrong in the opposite place. This Chandu is to be credited. This Chandu, the same Chandu, appears in the wrong debit, he is also to be credited. Then how many times Chandu is to be credited? Chandu is to be credited for 2 times. Hai na? The amount of rupees, I think it is 5,000. Then what is to be debited? The debited suspense account debit. कितना डाला suspense account में? 10,000. Do you think can we write Chandu 2 times? No. We have to write Chandu only for 1 time. Now our entry will be suspense account debit to Chandu's account. Are you getting my word? Number 5. Okay. Suspense account debit to Chandu's account. Amount is to be written for 2 times. 5,000 plus 5,000, it comes how much? 10,000 dash 10,000. Being wrong debit to Chandu's account is rectified. Being wrong, debit to Chandu's account is rectified. Okay, fine. Shall we move on to the next transaction, my dear student? See what happened in the next transaction. See here. Rupees 5,000 due by Ramesh. Due by Ramesh. What do you mean by due by Ramesh? Is a debtor. Was omitted to be recorded in the trial balance. It is not being recorded. Due by Ramesh. There are two things involved. Due. What actually the things are involved here? Due. Due means it is a liability. It is a amount which is due from Ramesh. Is omitted to be recorded. Is not at all recorded in the books of accounts. Now we have to show it. Now who is Ramesh? Ramesh, the amount due from Ramesh. Ramesh is a debtor. Debtor is to be debited. Now we have to show it because due means outstanding. Outstanding income, receivable. ये तो outstanding receivable बोलते. और receivable नहीं record किया. Receivable means asset. Asset is to be debited as a correct entry. Then what is to be taken in the credit side? Very simple. In the credit side, we have to take Apad Bandhava suspense account with nothing else is there. Sir, can we use P&L adjustment? No. Because there is no income, no expenses. Now your entry will be Ramesh account debit to suspense account 5,000 dash 5,000 being due from Ramesh is now recorded. Fine. What happened? The next transaction. Sale of goods to Ram omitted to be recorded. You sold the goods to Ram, not recorded. Sale means what? Income. Income is to be what? Credited. In the place of income, what we have to use? We have to use P&L adjustment. You purchased goods from whom? Ram. Who is your Ram? Ram is a debtor. When you sold goods to Ram, Ram increases, debtor increases, he is to be debited. Ram is to be debited, sales is to be credited. Ram is to be debited, sales is to be credited. Now my dear student, did you people recorded this transaction? No, this transaction is omitted. Now what we have to do? We have to record it. Then what is the entry? Ram's account debit. Who is debtor? Ram. Ram's account debit to P&L adjustment account. That is the entry number what? 7. Ram's account debit to P&L adjustment account 20,000. Am I right, my dear students? Being goods sold to Ram is now being recorded. Being sold goods to Ram is now being recorded. See the last point, my dear students. An amount of rupees 23,950 sorry, of purchase was wrongly posted as 25,930. See, you have purchased 23,950, recorded as 25,930. This is your correct value. This is your wrong value. Now, you have recorded 25,930. It is a wrong value. Which one is correct value? 23,950 is your correct value. Find out the difference. 8, ये तो 9 आया, ये तो 1 आया. 1,980 rupees. क्या किया आपने? 1,980 is over. What is over? Let me see here. Now, amount of 23,590 purchase. What do you mean by purchase? Purchase means expenses. Expenses is to be debited. Now, what you have taken? You have taken over debit. है ना? Instead of recording 23,590, you have recorded 25,930. So, you have recorded more, that is over debited. When it is over debited, where we have to take? We have to take it in opposite side. Opposite side means where we have to record the expenses which is termed as a P&L adjustment account. So P&L adjustment account is to be taken in the opposite side. Opposite side means we have to take P&L adjustment in the credit side. Then what is to be written on the debit side? We have to take suspense account on the debit side. This is your ultimate journal entry. मालूम हुआ है ना? Over debit हुआ, P&L adjustment को credit side लेना, suspense account को debit करना. So now your entry will be, that is suspense account debit to P&L adjustment account. How much it is? 1980 dash 1980 being over debit in purchase account is rectified. Now this completes how many entries, my dear student? This complete 8 entries. We have to leave one more space to write 9th entry, that is whatever the balance you are getting after preparing your P&L adjustment account. That balance is to be transferred to the capital account, right? See, in the first entry what happened? Scooter to P&L adjustment. Since the scooter is in the debit of journal, so it goes to where? Credit side of ledger. What we have to write? By scooter's account as rupees 30,000. Fine. Second one, P&L adjustment to scooter. Since scooter is in the credit of journal, so it goes where? Debit side of ledger as rupees 3,000. Why na? Next, suspense to P&L adjustment account. Since suspense account is in the debit, so it goes to the credit side by suspense account with an amount of rupees how much? 1 lakh. Fine. What happened the next transaction? See here, P&L adjustment to X. X is in the credit side, so we have to take it in debit side, right? To X account, it is of rupees 40,000. Fine. What happened the next one? There is a no, right? Then the last one, Ramesh to suspense P&L is not there. Ram is in the debit place, so he goes to the credit place. By Ram 20,000. Next one, suspense to P&L by suspense. It is an amount of rupees 1980. Now you close. The credit side is more 1,51,980. Here we are getting 1,51,980. Close it. It comes to 1,08,980. This is to be transferred to which account? This is to be transferred to capital account. When you are taken the amount in the debit side of P&L adjustment, it goes to the credit side of journal. That is P&L adjustment account debit to what? Capital account with an amount of rupees 1,08,980. 1,08,980 rupees. Okay, so this is how we have to solve the problem, my dear students. Please try to understand how we have to solve the problems when the errors are disclosed in the next year. Okay, thank you, take care, bye bye, namaskar.